Hello everybody, today we're going to show you like some cornerman skills and the difference between amateur and professional doing both. Today I've got Willem here again. He's going to be our model for doing the hand wrapping. So first of all I'm going to show you the way the amateurs wrap their hands for competition, and then we can add on to it what they do for training, etc. And then we're going to go on to do how the pros train their hands and what things we use. And then I'm going to show a little bit more what we do in the corner as well. So I hope you enjoy this one, and this is just one of many ways of wrapping hands, so don't take this as gospel. You've got your own ways and people do things differently. So here we go. So obviously we put the thumb loop over, get a good support down the wrist. Always ensure the thumb gets done nicely. Spread fingers. Now, everybody has different ways obviously, so this is just one of the ways I like to do it. So through the fingers. Make a fist. As you can see, everything's covered, plenty of padding here. Turn it over. You can always pull a little bit up so you can get a nice little bit of a grip bar. That's the way most amateurs will do the. Alternatively, for training, you might want to pad your knuckles a little bit with one of our this is a gel knuckle pad. So that slides on over the knuckles. And so you've got that extra protection on the knuckles. Right, make a fist. As you can see, you've got all that extra protection on the top of the knuckles and punch surface. So that's a training method. That's one more. Also for training, we see things like these. Various companies have copied this idea a long time ago. Put your hand in that one. Put it nice and tight. And obviously we have a small wrap that goes on top of this one. Thumb loop in. So make a fist. Again, all the padding is perfect for training, protect your hands, etc. That's another way of training and padding your hands. Also, on top of these, like I said, there's other companies make this kind of hand protection. And we know Willem uses these as well. We have the Bandax. This gives plenty of protection to the metacarpals on the back of the hand as well as the knuckles. These come in two models, Elite and Elite Plus. The Elite has a foam knuckle. The Elite Plus, this one, has the gel knuckle, so there's plenty of protection on there as well. That's another training method. They have brought a new, more budget one out, which has a longer wrap, which will be available soon. This is by Bandax as well. So this is one way of keeping your hands looked after, nice and well bandaged in amateur style or professional training as well. Also, now I'll show you how we do professional bandaging. Here we use the simple gauze weave. Now this does take a while, so you'll have to bear with us, unless you want a time lapse it. Has anybody done this for you before?
In kickboxing we do it.
The pro way, yeah. This is an art, so keep your fingers spread on this one. Again, we always make sure the thumb's protected every time. This is bandage 1. Again, I'm rushing through this because it's not, you know, on a fight night I'll take my time doing this because it's very important it's done correctly. There we go, bandage 1. Bandage 2. Now you can see this one's getting a little bit tighter now. Now from here we have the gauze pad. As I mentioned before, these days the pad is bigger than before. Everybody likes to have plenty of knuckle protection. Personal choice. Again, there's different ways, different trainers will have different methods of doing this. Again, this is just me doing a quick one, just to sort of explain what goes into using it and what we actually do. It looks all scruffy at the minute, but once we get the tape onto it, you'll see a big difference. From here we go to the 1-inch . And we use KO tape because for me it's the best. I've used this for a long time now. They don't sponsor us, I just like it because it works. It works better than most. We have a little start on the tape there. Notice we use the thinner tape for in between the fingers. And we should be able to get a nice thick grip bar here. As you can see, nice thick grip bar, thumbs protected. Now we go back onto this part. Make a fist. As you can see, all this part here is nice and protected. What we'll do now is lock all this down. And here, open your fingers again. We're not allowed to go past the first knuckle with the tape. So, first knuckle, bend your fingers. First knuckle here. So now we're just locking everything in. And there, right the fist. There we have a professional bandaged hand. So when the professional boxers, or nowadays international amateurs, they go into competition, this is basically how the hand will be done. We've got this extra protection on the knuckle, at least 2 gauze bandages in there. Nice gap here so you can grip the bandage, and maybe a bit thick on there, but you know, the thumb's protected and all the wrist. So this protects all the metacarpals and the small bones in the wrist. So that should be done for a good 12 round fight. Easy off. This is what happens after the fight. All the boxers are scared stiff because they think you're going to cut the wrists off and everything. But pull, pull. And there we go, it's off and it's done. And that's what they look like at the end of the show. Changing rooms are full of them. So that's how we do hand wraps for professional, amateur and training. As quickly, just showing you as quickly as possible. It's not, I mean obviously if we've got a show coming up and my boxers fighting on a night, I'll take a lot longer and be a lot more careful and do them a lot neater and safer. Most boxers themselves will wrap their hands or use the protection for training, whether they use just hand wraps and a gel knuckle guard or something like this or this. That's everybody's personal preference when training. Some amateur officials don't like you going through the fingers when you wrap your hands with a hand wrap. They've got to be a maximum of 4.5 meters and a semi-stretch material with Velcro closure. We know that. They're all the same. From that now, the hand side of it, I'm going to show you what else I do in the corner, what you're allowed to take into the corner as an amateur and a professional trainer, and I'll explain what goes on cuts. Thank you, Willem,
Yes.
for showing that. You're modelling your hands perfectly. I'm not going to draw it over Willem's face and pretend he's cut. I've got a special person to come and do that called Ed. Meet Ed. Ed's 200-0, he's a knockout merchant and he's the top man in the gym. Now, he's had a lot of fights and these are the common places where most boxers will get a facial injury. This is the common places where boxers will get injuries. Cuts, you need to get a cut lip or a nosebleed. Now, nosebleed, obviously you know the score, pinch the nose or you can put an applicator in there. These are the applicators we use. You can stick that in there and pinch it to stop the bleeding. Same with the lip. You're not allowed to put any adrenaline or 1001 adrenaline up the nose or in the mouth. That's only for facial cuts. Now obviously sometimes your boxer can come back and he's got more cuts than anything else. So the one that takes priority obviously is always the one in the most dangerous place. Most boxers are cut here, right on the ridge of the bone. That clash of heads, that always happens where this one is. Cheekbones, if you've got high cheekbones you can get a crack there. The worst place to have a cut is between the eyes or above the eyes because the blood will then run into the eye and, you know, obscure vision. Now if you're unfortunate enough to have a boxer with a cut above and below, No matter how severe the one is below, if it's 10 times worse than the little nick above, you'll always look after the cut above the eye first. This one is not going to cause him any problems, maybe cosmetically yet, but during the fight, no. The blood will run down, it won't go into the eye upwards. So these upper ones are the best ones to deal with first. Also, with clashes of heads, you can get scalp wounds. Now scalp wounds, they bleed really profusely because they've got a lot of blood capillaries in the scalp. They always look worse than they are. You'll end up with a mask of blood. So the best thing is to get them treated straight away. And what we do is, when your boxer comes to the corner, the first thing you'll do, you'll have a nice clean flannel. You'll dab. You don't wipe. You never wipe, because if you wipe you can tear the cut any further. So you'll dab the area, and then you get one of these, which is a sterile swab. Open the sterile swab, and you'll get the cut and you'll pinch it. Now while you're pinching that, your assistant will have your adrenaline ready with the applicators in it. So we've got this cut here, so you're pinching that, you'll get your applicator out, and then you'll put that in the cut to staunch the flow of blood. And then if it's still bleeding, pinch that over there. While you're pinching that, you can then possibly deal with this one. And obviously you're going to do it face to face. I'm only showing you this way for filming purposes. Now once you've done that, you'll have stopped the blood, hopefully. So you get your petroleum jelly, you put a bit of that on there, and you smear it across this, and hopefully you're trying to plug that bit of a hole, and hopefully that should seal it. Obviously you tell your boxer, keep your head out the way, get on your toes for a bit, give you a chance to heal it, etc. The more hits you're going to get on that target, and your opponent, being a good boxer, is going to he's going to target any injuries you've got to make them worse, because if it's a legitimate cut caused by a punch and you get stopped for it, he's the winner. If it's an accidental clash of heads or something like that, the referee will notify the judges of that, and it will either be a no contest if it's less than 4 rounds, or if it's after 4 rounds they go to the current scorecards, including the round it's stopped in. So you're always going to rely on a good cutsman or cornerman who knows what he's doing. So like I say, never wipe, always just stab it. Obviously once you've finished you can give him a quick wipe, not touching the Vaseline at all. Other places you generally see cuts is the top of the ears or below the ears. They're just like paper cuts, little splits you might get. If you see blood coming out of the ear itself, that's serious, and you stop your boxer from continuing. Obviously that can, if it's dark blood coming through the ear hole, that's a serious head injury, so end of game. And like I said before, these kind of cuts, which are very common on the edge of the eye, you can help them stop the bleeding and help carry on. This one's superficial, so no matter how deep that gets, you'll always treat the upper one first. These ones across the bridge of the nose and between the eyes and above the eyes, blood tends to run in there. The doctor does get called by the referee to inspect it. If he can see down to the bone, he'll stop it. And to be honest, if you're 25-0 and you get a cut, and it's a serious cut, it's better off being stopped, because the worse it gets, the harder it is to fix later on, and that could cause you getting cuts every time you box after that. So the sooner it's stopped that way, don't worry about which is best, your health or a no on your record. You don't need that. Now as for amateurs, if they get a cut, it's generally stopped straight away. You're not allowed to put Vaseline on between rounds like you do with the boxing, the professional boxing, sorry. Now the other thing you're allowed to do in professional boxing, if your boxers aren't cut but they're getting swellings above the eyes and below the eyes, we have these end swell irons, and these an ice bag. So generally I put the ice bag on the head just to keep them cool and things like that. But not only that, when that's in the corner, you'll keep your Vaseline on that and your end swell iron like that to keep it really cold. Now these are surgical steel, so they're cold anyway, but the colder the better, because if your box is getting a swelling anywhere, you will use this to push the swelling away from the eye, so it doesn't start closing up this way. So you're pushing it up away. Same at the top, you can push it away to stop any lumps, bumps either side. It's a case of just pushing it and ironing it away. Now there's different shapes and sizes of these for different jobs. If you've got a little knot on the side, you want a small round one, it's better than using this big old-fashioned one here. But the idea is, it's called an iron to smooth out lumps, not wrinkles. So that's the other thing you're allowed to do in the pro game. Again, in the amateurs, you can't use that, you can't use that, but you can use that. You can put it on the back of the neck or something between rounds just to cool them off. Like I say, usually cuts in the amateur game, stop straight away. If you've got a severe nosebleed in the amateur game, stop straight away. You're not allowed to put adrenaline up the nose or in the mouth, so you can just use a bit of gauze, or like I said before, you roll it up, stick it up there, or use an applicator, anything to help pinch it and stop the bleeding. Usually if you're doing 6, 8, 10 rounds, you're going to get marked up and cut. Very few people don't cut anymore. There's a lot of gloves out there now. There used to be like 6 or 7 different kinds of gloves. Now there's probably 600 or 700, and some of them aren't the greatest, and they will cause serious facial injuries. Even though some of them have passed approval, some of them are like a bag of air, and they will cause no end of facial injuries and keep the cutsmen in business. Now the other things you're allowed to take into the corner, obviously you've got your adrenaline, your eye iron, your swabs, etc., your Vaseline. You take your water bottle, obviously you're going to give them a drink of water between rounds, and your towel, your nice clean white towel. You take that in the corner with you. You can take spare tape, but you don't really need that anymore. If you're an amateur boxer, your coaches like to spray you with water as well. You don't see it so much in the pro game, but it's quite common in the amateurs. So you're taking all these things. There's at least 10, 11 things you're allowed in the corner. Nothing else. Like I say, spare tape, your bandage scissors, obviously in case anything comes loose. This, all these specific items. If you've got a coach who does everything in one, he'll do all that. If you've got a cutsman, he'll have all this. This is his job. A lot of people have a specific cutsman. If you've got a well-known one, it helps as well, because the referee knows he's one of the top professional cutsmen. They'll give him that little bit more leeway when it comes to a bad cut, because they know he's competent enough to repair it. If he's an unknown cutsman and he's flapping in the corner, he's not sure what he's doing, the referee won't give him a chance, they will stop it. I hope that's been a bit different this week, just showing you quickly the difference between amateur and professional and training hand wraps, and what amateur and professional trainers do in the corner and coaches. Basically the amateurs, all you're allowed is a flannel, sponge and water in between rounds. The professionals, they have all this lovely kit they've got to use for the various things, obviously because it goes on a lot longer. Please like, subscribe, ring the bell, watch us on Instagram, check out our TikTok. Obviously tell everybody about this YouTube channel. We need more people to watch it, to keep us going with the algorithms, that kind of thing. Anything else you want to know about? I mean, I've been a professional trainer for 25 years, and I was a coach in the amateurs at a top level for 5 years before that, and before that I actually boxed myself. So I've been in this game 50 odd years now. So there's a lot of experience goes into what I do in the corner. I'm not specifically a cuts man. I do work the cuts quite often. I'm more of a head trainer, but I can do whatever you need to do. So like, subscribe, question us, tell us what else you want to see, and I'll see you next week. Goodbye.